I just love how people would like to make up stuff about their God in order to make it feel better for them so that they can be accepting of this God, because they know that if they looked at the truth of the matter, they would certainly have to walk away from this religion. So the first part of this person's statement is that they're claiming that that Enoch was most like an Ethiopian black man. There is absolutely nothing in your Bible that would lead you to think that Enoch was an Ethiopian black man. As a matter of fact, according to your biblical cosmology, Enoch was born and raised in the Mesopotamian area. If you look at where the Garden of Eden is, if you look at where Noah supposedly had his whole flood and all that sort of thing, he was living in the Levant. He was living in around that Mount Ararat, which is in Turkey for the most part. So there is absolutely no way he was an Ethiopian man, because according to your biblical cosmology, there's no such thing as an Ethiopian at this time frame. I want you to think about it. According to your story, Enoch is born and raised and goes up to heaven before Noah's flood. According to Noah's story, it is Ham's descendants that become the Cushites and the Ethiopians and so on and so forth. So therefore, it is a virtual impossibility for Enoch to be Ethiopian according to the biblical cosmology. Now, we know that Ethiopians existed prior to the people who would be known as Ethiopians today existed prior to this whole story. So no, he wasn't Ethiopian. He wasn't Axiom. He wasn't anywhere near East Africa for this story to have happened. So no, you're just making something up to make you feel better about the story. And then because you don't want to accept that your God does not like women, then you want to say that God or Jesus don't hate black people. I never said that in my video in the first place. The video was about how people use the Bible and your God, they use the Bible to say that the curse of Canaan and the curse of Cain or was of dark skin, and how different religions has done that and used that. So I never said what you're saying. But this is how people have used it. But if your God did use dark skin as a marker for Canaan and his descendants, yeah, we got a little problem there. But you were saying that Jesus was annoyed at the way that the Jewish men were treating women, that Jesus was a gentleman because he saved the woman who was sleeping around, and that I need to take things like that into account when I point out all the other things that demonstrates how this God does not like women, does not treat women. So let me ask you a question, Megan. A man who is a serial essayist, a man who is a serial murderer who only murders women, but he loves his mother, he loves his daughter, he might love his wife, he might love his aunts and sisters, but he has shown that he want to essay every other woman. Would you say that man hates women? Just because he loves his mother, just because he loves his daughter, would you still say this man hates women? What would you say? I'm really curious as to what your comment would be, and I hope that you do respond to that. But what would you say concerning that? I think most people, and what would most of you guys say concerning that? How would you categorize that man as far as his attitude towards women? Because I've experienced many men who will talk about women ain't this, women ain't that, and how much they can't stand, and women are always going to trick you, women are always going to do this, women are always going to do that. But yet, I always tell them, I say, well, so you're gay then? You like men? No, man, I love women. I got to have me a woman. But you hate women. You hate women. I literally had to stop dating a girl because she was like, black man ain't this and black man ain't that, and all black men do is this and all black men do is that. And I was like, but you're dating me and I'm a black man. Oh, but you different. But you're saying my son and my brother and my uncles and all them are in that category. Well, they might be. You hate men. I told her, you hate black men, but you only want a black man. That your one like doesn't make the rest of it okay. All right, so this guy demonstrates so many things that he just don't like women. That demonstrates that women are thought of to be a subcategory. Just like your Bible says that it wasn't Adam who disobeyed, who ate from the fruit, who was tricked by the serpent. It was Eve, the lesser, and he calls women the lesser vessel. Tells women to be silent in churches. And as far as your Jesus is concerned, he saved this one woman. And then he told the Samaritan, and you didn't even mention this one, but you could have, but he talked to the Samaritan woman and told her to, go and Don't sin no more because the man you with is not your husband. But isn't your Jesus also the same one that called the other woman a dog? Remember that part where your Jesus told the woman that who wanted to learn from him, and he said, and she was like, "This is not for the dogs. This is for the Israelite people, the Hebrews, not for you dogs." And then the woman was like, "Well, even dogs eat the scraps, the crumbs from their master's plate." And so then she had to correct your Jesus for him being such a gentleman and calling this woman a bee. But his initial thought process is that this woman is a dog because she's of a different tribe. So what you're doing is, because of your affinity for this Jesus character, you have to focus in on just the things that shows this Jesus in a positive light, shows your God in a positive light, and completely ignore the overwhelming evidence that demonstrates how negative your God is towards women. And because you are a woman and you love this God, you have to make it work for yourself, because how else can you continue to worship this God? And that's the sad aspect of the whole thing. But I want to hear what you got to say, Megan. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. Like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.